So when it comes to heads, circle. That's what you need. First of all, you need the circle. The circle is going to be the base at all points, unless you want to go really abstract. If you want to go like a person with a square head, like that sort of thing. There's only one person I actually draw who has a square head, and that's Pablo's dad. But, you know, unless you want to do something like this, you're mostly going to be working with a circle. So, we have that here. Circle. So, say I wanted to draw Chris. So we're just going to look at sort of the basic sort of shapes first. So with Chris is very sort of soft, very round when it comes to all of his shapes, because he is a big soft boy. So you're going to want to like make it come out at the sides, like that. Obviously not like this, that's just me not knowing how to draw. Trust me, my clean work is just layers upon layers of sketches that's all been lined very, very slowly. So with this, as you can see, like, that's quite a round face from that. And then if I go like that, that's going to give you your basic sort of head perspective. Perspective? No. Base. Just base. And then from there, you need to go sort of where you connected the cheeks. And I'll go over this a bit more later when I do different facial types. Where you connected the cheeks, you want to do a line like that, and that's going to be the eye line. And you want it to sort of curve just a little bit. And then around sort of where the base of the circle is, that's going to be your nose line. And then around the bottom, and I mean this is sort of a gamble, that's your mouth line. So if I turn this down a bit, and the circle as well, and then go here. So for the sake of this, I'm going to draw Chris with both his eyes visible. Just because, you know, like, yeah. And also with his glasses off, I don't know. So, I'm going to put the ears on first, just because that will give me a better perspective, for his hair. Because, if you put the ears down, I mean, it depends whether you're the type of person who wants people to have their ears in front of their hair or behind it. But when it comes to me, I always have the ears in front of the hair. I don't know why I do that. I mean, it doesn't really make sense in a lot of cases. Like, there's a lot of people who would have their hair tucked in to, no, their ears tucked into the hair. But it's what I do. So, yeah, so if I put the ears in, again, starting from this sort of line here, because the top of the ears always lines up with the eyes. So, and then down to the nose line, if you look like that, yeah. They're lining up, and just sort of and on a slightly sort of tangential thing here, there are so many ways to draw ears. Like, personally, I draw them like this. Usually I draw them a little bit larger than this. In fact, if I prefer them to be sticking out a little bit more, especially with Chris's sort of face shape, because he's very round. But you can do it any sort of way. I mean, like, I have done it like this before, which I think is quite a fun little style. Although it does kind of look monkey-ish. You look kind of like you're drawing a monkey furry. If I'm drawing sort of a more realistic thing, I go for sort of the butterfly kind of shape, like an actual ear with a lobe, and sort of more like this. Although with this sort of face shape, these kind of ears ain't gonna work at all. Even sometimes, like, you know, if you're feeling a bit lazy, small ears, little X's in each ear. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, but I'm gonna go with these ones for now. So if I just put the hair in, and this is the thing as well, choosing where the hairline is gonna be, because I mean, naturally, obviously, everyone does have a hairline. Well, nearly everyone at least. Everyone sort of has some type of crown. And choosing where that is gonna influence how you structure the rest of the face. So with Chris, you know, obviously, because usually his hair's like this, his parting is here, and his crown goes this way because his hair parts here. But you know, his hair's going to look a bit different in this because I said I wanted both eyes to be visible. I'm going to make this eye just semi-visible because that feels more normal for Chris, but yeah. So if I just do this, he's got some little clips. That's cute. So then if we add the eyes, I generally just do circle eyes. I mean, sometimes I do this kind of eye, although not maybe at that angle because that's kind of a creepy angle. More like that. And then sometimes when I'm just can't be bothered to do eyes, I'll just do that. But I generally draw circle eyes. And sometimes this can take a bit of time to get right because they can look a bit creepy. Like, depending on how you've done them. Like, this is a little bit spooky looking. If I just put some pupils in, though, and straighten them up, there we go. Sometimes it can just be missing features. Like, you find a lot if you're drawing a sort of realistic thing, before you add eyebrows, it's creepy. Like, that's just how it be. Before you add eyebrows, it's creepy. If I person without eyebrows, it's creepy. If you see a person with no eyebrows, it's scary. Like that, it doesn't look right, does it? And you find that with art. It's the complete same thing with art. If there's certain features missing, it's going to look like that. With that sort of thing, it's the pupils, and with realistic, it's usually the eyebrows. If you think you're doing something wrong on the face, probably the eyebrows. So, yeah. If I add the rest of the hair in, just because Chris's hair, I'm going to stop here because I'm going to structure the face in just a moment. And flicky hair. I will go over everything that I'm doing at the moment anyway in a minute, but just sort of briefly for now. And then just follow around the structure that you put in, sort of as much as you want. You know, it doesn't have to be exactly how you did it there. I mean, I've already gone over it twice and got rid of it. Again, it's going to be sketchy at first. Generally, I draw a layer, and then I might clean it up for a layer and then do the line art, or I might just clean it up on the line art. But yeah, so once you've got sort of a shape that you're happy with, so in this case, this I'm sort of happy with. I mean, it is a little bit wonky around here, but other than that, it's fine. That is your basic head. So if I go like that, there we go, we've got the head shape. And then obviously the nose and the mouth follow suit. So, tell you what, if I give him a neck as well, and I'm working on this myself, giving him sort of a wider neck because he's thick. He's not a skinny dude, and I need to sort of bang that into my skull. Cause wait, I don't know why he's wearing. No, that's not how he wears that. What? There we go. And shoulders, and boop, boop, boop. There we go, t-shirt like normal. So with Chris, he's got, you know, stubble going on, so I just put little lines around there. Sideburns. And then after that, to the nose. I would say don't draw the mouth before the nose, because if you do that, then there's a possibility of the mouth being too high up or too down low, and then you might be really happy with the mouth, and then you won't notice that it's too high up or low until you put the nose on, which, you know, obviously is an issue, because then you're going to have to resize it and move it and all that, and it's going to look nasty and janky. So, how I draw noses differs. It depends on who I'm drawing, and it depends on what kind of art it is in general. So, like with this specifically, there are a few different ways I could go with it. If I just finish off his hair quickly, there we go. Haha. So yeah, there's a couple of ways I could go with it. When he's got his glasses on, it's different, because if I go like this, I mean, this isn't how I generally draw his glasses, but, you know, that'll do. When it comes to this, I usually do it like that. Because, you know, just because the glasses are there, so it needs to be cutting over them. But I'm going to go without the glasses for this one, just for the sake of it. So then the nose can sort of be like this. This is how I generally draw noses. A little bit of a, you know, nostril going on there, line in the middle, like that. Or I do sometimes draw them like this, which I think also works well. Oh, I made it a bit wonky. There we go. Sort of detached from the face, but like still part of the face. Chris's nose shape is kind of hard to do with this style, I must admit, because it always looks a bit too sharp when it's like that's meant to be the middle of the nose, not the hook of the nose. But yeah, so there's a couple of different ways you can do that. I'll elaborate on that a bit later. If I just give him this nose for now. And, you know, sometimes things aren't going to be symmetrical. It's up to you to decide whether you want to fix that or whether you're fine with that how it is. Personally, I generally fix it, but, you know, that's just me. So then there we go. That's most of the face. Then just the mouth. I must admit, I'm not good with mouth. Like, you've seen my art before. Probably, if you're Dani, who this video is meant for. If you're literally anyone else, maybe not. But so, like, if I just, like, that's how I generally draw mouths. Partly because I'm lazy, and then also because the facial expression that this conveys is just really good. If I give him eyebrows as well, totally forgot the eyebrows. There we go. And I like to do chunky eyebrows, especially for characters like Chris, just because, haha, chunky eyebrows, fun time. You know, can also do just like that, but I feel like it's more emotive if you make them chunky. I don't know. So the mouths, I mean, mouths are just sort of, I don't know how to go over mouths, really. I think partly, if nothing else, you've got to think about how the mouth is positioned. Because, I mean, you could do like this, and I mean, that's cute, but it's not really anything, is it? Or like, if I went like this, you know, you get the little sort of squish line there, and then also that would push the eye up. So you've got to think about how the rest of the facial proportions would interact with that sort of thing. So that would squish the eye, and just sort of stuff like that. There we go. Or if I'm to do that, tongue out, classic. You know, that's just by itself. And it fits on the face, although it doesn't fit on the face, obviously, because it's coming off the face, but I feel like when I do the sort of, the whole thing with the mouths coming off the face, it feels like more emotive. Like, I think I said this just now, but it feels like more emotive because you've got, like, the expression coming off of the face itself, which makes it seem, in my eyes at least, more sort of powerful. Like, if I was to, if I was to just go like this, like, that's not as effective. I mean, it is still a valid face, and especially in this case, I think that does still work, but it's not as effective as it is if I'm to do that. That's more effective. So the mouths are very much sort of where you're pinpointing the emotion. I mean, like, that's probably a given. That's probably quite obvious, but, like, you wanna shape it in such a way that it gives off a very specific emotion. Because, like, you could do this. Oh, maybe not quite that. Oh, Jesus. Like, this. And then you can't tell whether he's happy or sad. Because, like, you've got this dip here that would, if I illustrate that bit, that would suggest, you know, a sad face. Or, like, apparently a frog. But you also have this bit at the top, which is curving downwards, which would, you know, suggest a happy face. So you've got to look at how your position is sitting with the mouth, and then also what shape it's in, because that sort of shape, especially that sort of shape, I have struggled with a lot. It helps if you sort of make it more prominent, like if you're to do something like that, because then the dip there is sort of smaller, and it's more sort of visible that it's meant to be this kind of face. Or, you know, you could go, again, lazy route and just like that. But that's kind of hard to make look like a angry shout instead of a like happy one. Or like a scared one or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, so if I if I finish this off like this, and then as you can see from this, that's the face sculpted from that, and the eyes and the nose and the ears are all sort of on it. With the eyeline I am very sort of bad with. I put the eyeline there for my own good, you know, to help me, and then I generally tend to put the eyes below it. I sort of use the eyeline almost as a, like, eyelid line. Like, in that he's sleepy there. He's a little bit, like, drunk or something. I don't know. There we go. He's a little bit drunk. But, yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's down to you on that point to sort of experiment with how you like it. Because, I'll tell you, if I move on, if we, get rid of that, and move the circle along, and draw our next person. So let's go with Whitley, and I'm going to have to get up a reference image of Whitley, and I am not going to do that on my laptop, because that would mean exposing other art that I am not particularly proud of. It's not like creepy or anything, it's just not very good. There we go. Whitley. There we go. So this is what I mean with the sort of bringing this stuff together. If I continue drawing the facial structure on this line, so with Whitley, their head is a lot more sort of cylindrical, like not cylindrical per se, but like they definitely don't have the same sort of puffy cheeks as Chris does. So Whitley's head tends to look like this more, because they have a sort of long face. With this, I would put the nose further down, just because the whole head is stretched out more. With Chris, it would be on the sort of circle line, but that's just because the area that's under the circle would be smaller. Whereas with Whitley, obviously, it's quite substantial. It's almost about 2/3 of the length of the circle itself. So if I put that there, and then start working on that. With Whitley, their hairline is up here. Their hair sort of curls out like this, and down into their eyes, and then picks back up a little bit, and then goes down again, because who knows who gave them their haircut? It wasn't anyone professional. I'll just put their ears in as well for the sake of it. There we go. And then it curves down. That's not quite how it goes, but oh well, that'll do. Yeah, so with Whitley's eyes, sort of putting them on the eyeline a bit more would make sense, because their head is longer. Whereas with Chris, the head is shorter, and also he has big hair. I mean, Whitley also has big hair, but not quite as big. And then here's the thing as well with noses especially. Don't be afraid to have the noses be sort of almost caricature-ish. Not like in a racist way, but like in a just sort of, cartoony caricature-ish way. Like, caricature. Let's just go with that. See, if you look at some of these caricatures, like, Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean is a good example. Big nose. Just sort of, oh my god, that's horrible. Yeah, things like that. Things like, like this one. I have a feeling that's meant to be, what's his face? The dude from Torchwood. I don't know, but could be, who knows. But, like, if you see, again, big nose. There are some people who sort of don't want to do this because it makes things look too exaggerated, in their opinion. But that is BS. Because, like, if you go like this, because with Whitley has a high bridge nose, which essentially means, like, if I do another face here, just Whitley's face again, but without the head because I can't be bothered. If I was to put their face in here and then draw their nose in, their nose overlaps their eye because it's, as I said, high bridged. So instead of going like this, it goes like this. Nose. It's kind of like feet, doesn't it? And give it toes. Now it doesn't look like feet because I can't draw feet. There we go. So yeah, Whitley has a big nose that covers over the eye. And that's the thing, like, it's nice to have features that cover over other features, like, especially with their hair and stuff as well. So if I go over this, and here's sort of like where we come in with other expressions as well. Because there's certain expressions that are like very hard to nail when you're drawing them. You've got the basic sort of sad. They're so sad. Or like angry. They're mad. Or like, just your very basic vanilla happy. But like you've got a lot of expressions. I'm gonna give them their glasses. They don't look right without their glasses. There's a lot of sort of expressions in between that are hard to convey. So, like, for instance, just, sort of shocked confusion. Shocked confusion I like to draw a lot because it just looks funny. Like that. I like that. I like how that looks. I think that looks funny. And then if you want to go the extra mile, lid the eyes. There we go. Yeah, and lidding the eyes is really good for expressions as well. I'm going to draw the rest of their hair. I didn't give them the rest of their hair, did I? That's why they're pulling that face, because they've gone bald. Yeah, using the eyelids to your advantage when drawing expressions is a very sort of important part of expression making, because it like if you look at yourself in the mirror when you do an expression, your eyebrows are quite a lot of it, and then your mouth is quite a lot of it, but then also your eyelids do play a big part. If you look in the mirror and you squint your eyes, you're gonna look a bit like you're smiling. even if you're not. It's just how it is. The body language just sort of makes it like that. So if I demonstrate in a minute, just gonna give them their clothes. I don't want them to be naked. I'll put some clothes on Whitley. There we go. And to be fair, Whitley does change every time I draw them. They look different every time I draw them, but that's okay because they're a demon anyway, so that makes sense, to be honest. The thing is as well with shoulders especially, its shoulders are really good at showing expression too. Like, the Whitley from this angle looks like they're leaning inwards and also like they're a little bit shocked. Whereas Chris, over here, his shoulders going down, just chill, calm. So, yeah. If I just give the rest of their hair and then move on. So again, we got that from that. I don't know how helpful this is at the moment. I'm going to need feedback, but stop. So if I move on, I go with someone with high cheeks now. I don't actually have anyone with high cheekbones, so I'm just going to use this as a basic example. Neck. I'm not going to draw the shoulders in yet. Generally, I like to draw the shoulders in after I finish drawing the face. Because like if I go like that, that looks too big. But then if I go like that, that looks too small, especially with the head shape. You need to gauge it on how far the head is coming out, sort of. At least that's how I do it. I've been saying a lot during this, haven't I? So if I just go like that, and that, and that, and that. And again, it very much depends on how long the face is, where you put the nose and the mouth. I'm just going to use this one as an example for now. I'm going to give him some ears. And I'm going to make this character bald, so they don't have any, hair in their face and no obscuring features that will get in the way, because I do realise that the two characters I've picked so far have glasses, even though I didn't draw Chris with his glasses on. Yeah. There we go. And then now I'd feel more comfortable putting the shoulders in, because I got a gauge of how wide this character's head is. So if we have a look at the eyes here. One circle, two circle. Oops, that's smaller than that one. That's the thing you gotta be careful with as well, making sure they're the same size. If they're not, I mean, if you're doing a sketch layer like this, it doesn't really matter, you can just resize it, but other times it's going to be a bit of a bother. I just realised I've been doing this for half an hour now. So if I go like this, that's a very basic face. I just give them a little nose, a little mouth. That's a very basic face. If I give them eyebrows, immediately that's going to add some sort of expression. Like this. And this character looks a bit surprised. If I go like this, again that same sort of confused shock that I said about earlier. If I add that, that's like fear. That's a shock fear response. If I go like that, this character's sad, This is a sad, scared character. If I go like this character is now mortally terrified. And oh, here's a trick as well. Dilate the pupils. Dilate and retract the pupils, depending on expression. If a character is very scared or very shocked or something like that, make the pupils smaller, because I guarantee it carries that emotion better than it would if they were big. Like, what carries the emotion better like that? because I would say that personally. So it's all sort of in there. And if you wanted to give them sort of a tired expression, lidding the eyes like that, you know, you can get rid of that. You don't have to, but you can. I do it with some and then don't do it with others. Like with this character, I might do it, whoever this character is, and then in this drawing, both Jeff and Atlas have the rest of the eye. It just depends how you want it to look. And then if I go like that, this character is now suspicious. They're giving you a sort of, yeah, sure look. Or if I were to say, I have a reference image here that I wanted to use the other day. Yeah, if the character's like this, it may be that they're like kind of spaced out or something like that. Obviously the mouth won't go there because there's going to be a nose, although if you do it like that, that's fine. Or if you don't want to add a nose, that's fine too, obviously. You can carry an expression better by putting the mouth sort of right up by the face. Like, if I do this again, he looks like Squidward like that, I'm sorry. If I were to do, say, this, and then sort of bottom eyelid like this. This character is very intense, but say if I were to put the mouse here, that doesn't really feel expressive to me. Whereas if I put the mouth here, that's the ultimate smug expression. You know, you can't get any smugger than that. So squishing the face really does help sometimes. And if I give them a nose too, let's see, if we just give them sort of a like nose like that. Pulse Steven Universe nose, fantastic. If we go like that, oops, and then put the mouth here, not really much, put the mouth here, ultimate smug. It just depends on how you squish the face. Squishing the face is really important to carrying good expressions. So you got that going for you, like that. That guy, very, very smug. Once more, got that from that. So there you go. If I move the circle along one more time, and I'm going to have a look at noses now. So let's do another face shape. If I do just a, oh no, not on that layer. Say I do just a square. And then, actually if I make it a bit shorter, so I can do another one where the, where all the sort of lines are more squished up. So, line, generally, you know, if these are overlapping, then do it where they overlap in this bit here. If not, if we go back over here, you know, sort of they overlapped here. It was more sort of they touched instead of overlapping. Just do it where the line of the chin meets the line of the circle. So then again, this one would be nose on the line and mouth underneath. And I don't know who this is, by the way, so I'm going to make this up as I go. Again, ears. Give this dude big ears just for the sake of it. Or girl, doesn't matter. I'll give them some eyes. And this is going to be my nose experimenter. If I lift these both a bit. And there we go. I'll give them a nice little cat face smile. Just so they're happy, you know? Because they've got lots of cute noses. I'm going to give them hair as well. Why not? If we just talk a bit more about hairlines. So, you know, as well, you find where you put the hairline on a character really does help define them. Like, if I did something like this is a rejected member of NSYNC. Whereas if I sort of did something like this is a person with a comb over. Or, you know, you could just go all the way over and something like that. As well with eyebrows. Eyebrows, once again, very big sort of, you know, do whatever you want. Personally, I really, really like putting the eyebrows over the hair because I feel like you lose out on expression if you lose the eyebrows, but logically, you know, the eyebrows would not be in range with the face because I draw a lot of people with floppy hair mostly. So if I just give this person bigger, sort of soft, but kind of spiky hair. And with hair as well, like, hair I really like drawing on high stabilizers. Because if I draw my hair like this, that looks choppy. Whereas if I draw my hair like this, it flows a lot better. And I like having my hair be all sort of, you know, flicky. Either that or I like to just like that. Again, Jeff and Atlas are prime examples of this, whereas Chris is a very good example of it being flicky. Hairstyles, I'm not really allowed, well, I'm not really in any position to talk about hairstyles because I use the same few hairstyles for pretty much everything I draw. So I won't really talk at length about hairstyles, but you know, I am in my league with talking about hair partings. So I've got that down for me at least. Let's give this person their chin, their nice square chin. Oh look, it's Matt from Eddsworld. Oh god. Okay, there we go. So we got their face. If we hide both of these, or well, not that because we need that line. Generally, this is where I like to put the line on the top of the nose instead of at the bottom of the nose. So let's start sort of basic, down and then up. That's your easiest sort of nose that you're going to do. There are kind of a lot of ways to do this, like, you know, if you go spike or the Jonathan Sims treatment, or soft one, or like even if you were to do sort of a combo and then go like this, that all works, that's all fine. Next sort of nose would be like this sort of one that I do. I don't like this one as much as I used to, just because it feels a little bit weird on some faces, not all faces, but some. Like that one, it feels sort of okay, but there's sort of some faces where doing that sort of thing makes it feel like kind of weirdly anthropomorphic. Like you're kind of looking at a donkey. Like if you like that sorry for yawning. That to me looks kind of weird. And it might just be me, you know, but still. And then experimenting with this though is again completely down to you. If you want to do something like that and you're like, hey, you know what, I like that, that's fun, then go ahead. Like this, personally, I don't think this looks right, but I mean, you know, you're welcome. If you want to try that out and have that be your kind of style, then go ahead. I am not the style police. I cannot tell you what to do. But generally, I do sort of smaller noses like that. You don't have to add the nostrils as well. Like, you never have to add the nostrils. I just do. But it can make the face look a bit cluttered sometimes, so it makes sense if you don't. And then you've got sort of like the high bridge noses. Again, as I said with Whitley earlier, I nearly called him Wheatley. There's nothing wrong with covering the eyes with the nose, because, like, you know, that carries sort of the shape quite well, and it says, you know, this is a large nose. Or like if you wanted to something like that. Again, noses are very sort of subjective, and they're very sort of down to what you think looks good. Experimenting with shapes when it comes to noses is a really, really good thing to do, because noses you can pretty much get from any shape. If you like just do a little squiggle, and you're like, this could be someone's nose, you know? If you just see, that's a nose. Or oh, it looks like Conjin. This is Conjin's nose. Wait, if I... See? Conjin's nose. It's that kind of shape. It really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter how you draw the nose. Because anything pretty much can be a nose. I'm sort of tucking the other eye behind the nose on this one. It looks a bit weird, but still. I kind of want to leave him with that nose, because that's like the best nose. If I get rid of that, and then just to showcase some more noses, like this sort of shape, the triangle, or even more triangle, you know, just become a bird. And you don't have to have this line as well. That's just what I do personally. You don't have to have that line at all. I kind of forgot what the purpose of the line even was, but you know, yeah. I'm gonna keep him with that nose. I like that nose on him. I'm not sure if there's much else I actually needed to cover with this. I have been going for 44 minutes now, and my throat hurts, so I am going to stop at the moment. If there was anything else that needed covering, I mean, that would be fine. I can cover other stuff, sure. I'm going to give this guy a little glint on his bald head. When he gets a good idea, his baldness glints in the sun. I can't think of anything else I really need to cover. Other than maybe like beards, if I just do a really quick little thing of a beard. If you want to draw someone with a beard, my advice, always do it like you're drawing foam, and then just cat face, automatically cat face, always cat face. I don't care. There we go. So for that, I kind of hope that covered some stuff. If there was anything else that needed covering, I will happily cover that as well. I'm going to move all these lads together. Yeah, if there was anything else that needed covering, just tell me and I'll get that covered. Other than that though, I think I'm done. So there you go. You got sort of the basics of drawing a face, including the circle. Where's the circle? It's gone. And here are some lads. A nice Chris, and a long Whitley, and a bald guy, and a guy with a cute nose. Ta-da! I am an artiste.